What's good, everyone? OJ here. Welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about the new Fire Emblem Engage story trailer. We've got confirmed new characters, details, plot points, Alear character designs, and so much more. So we're going to break down this trailer with you guys, kind of introduce new things to the players out there, because I know a lot of you guys' first game was Fire Emblem Three Houses, and for my veterans, I'm going to go over some of the other things that I really love about this game, Fire Emblem Engage. So I think it's going to be a pretty cool thing to go through. But before we get into that, please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, and click that notification bell to get my videos first, including everything on Fire Emblem Engage. So let's go ahead and start off with this story trailer. We do know, based off of this, that there are at least minimum 12 emblem rings. So these emblem rings will contain previous game characters that you can use to team up with all of the new characters in Fire Emblem Engage. Characters can get and equipped emblem rings, and then that will bring back a character from the past. So for example, Marth, or also Celica's in there. We know Sigurd is in there as well, and these can be swapped between any player from what we know right now at this point. So you can carry 2 or 3 emblem rings on one character, then somebody else will be able to carry 1 emblem ring, or maybe even no emblem rings at all. But of course, you want to carry those emblem rings. Now in this game, you start off as Alear, either male or female, and your memories are scattered. You are the divine one, and your memories are scattered, and these emblem rings are going to help you regain your memory and save the world, according to the beginning scene in here. So you have to collect all 12 of them. That's how we know there's at least 12. And you have to make sure that you slay the fell dragon once again. And I think that that's a pretty cool setup. It's kind of cliche for Fire Emblem, but at the same time, it makes sense with what they're trying to do. This game is a clear blend between 2 of their most popular Fire Emblem games of all time, and that is Fire Emblem Awakening and Fire Emblem Heroes. The style, the setup, when it comes to the plot points, what they're doing is definitely Awakening-ish, and the emblem rings absolutely plays off of the nostalgia, and you want to see previous characters. And of course, Fire Emblem Heroes, which is the most successful Fire Emblem game of all time when it comes to money and revenue. So I think that they said, hey, let's go ahead and get back to the basics after the immense project of what Three Houses was. Let's get back to the basics with a Fire Emblem game, and let's go ahead and make this, but add in some Fire Emblem Heroes to maybe attract those mobile players that love that game and haven't played a Fire Emblem game yet. So I think that that is a good idea. Now, we also know that dark-skinned characters are confirmed. We saw that in there, Yoshi P in Shambles. I'm just joking, guys. I'm just joking. Don't take that seriously. But yes, there are new characters that are in here. You have this energetic girl as well, in addition to another guy. You have various different kingdoms that all kind of practice and do different things. Now, there are other people within the story that are looking to steal or collect your emblem rings from Alear and the crew, and you're going to have to fight these people and these different kingdoms. Some of them even do worship the fell dragon and want to see that dragon come back and want to see the world laid to ruin. So you do have heretics or crazy types of people, which we've seen before in previous Fire Emblem games, that do worship entities of evil and want them to come and cleanse the world, and maybe they'll start anew atop of it. So that plot point is back, and once again, it works for what Fire Emblem does. Now, another thing here, guys, is once again, we have some new confirmed characters. Roy, Lynn, Ike, and Lucina are all confirmed based off of the story trailer, which is really cool. I like the fact that you're going to have Roy, Ike, Lynn, Lucina. We kind of knew based off of the original thing that they showed off in the first trailer, but now that we actually saw their models in the trailer, we know for sure that they are confirmed as emblem rings. So that is great. Roy and Ike are 2 of the most fan favorite Fire Emblem characters, so that's awesome. Good to see that. Lynn obviously is great too, and Lucina, that's my favorite Fire Emblem character of all time, so it's good to see that we are going to have a number of characters. So right there, we got a lot of the cast already confirmed with the original, with Sigurd and also with Celica, in addition to Marth, right? So right there, that is already 7 characters. So we have a bit more when it comes to everything. 5 more characters to be revealed, which once again, we did go over which those characters are going to be. Byleth is going to be in there, and there's more. So awesome stuff all around. Can't wait to see the next actual trailer to show off some more gameplay, because it looks like they're gonna hit us with a 1-2 punch, maybe a story trailer now, and then we get an actual bigger trailer next month that shows off the combat in the game. I actually wouldn't be surprised if we got a Fire Emblem Engage Direct sometime next month or very early 2023, because the game launches on January 20th. So they're going to start ramping up the marketing, because that is going to be here before you know it. The fall holidays always goes by very quickly. Now, one more thing here, guys, with this trailer is that we see that at one point Marth does get possessed, and it seems like the world is laid to ruin and the plans are right about to be enacted by the evil one. So that's going to be a pretty crazy plot twist, how the main character Alir gets out of it, what he does to Marth back on his side, and I wonder what happens to the other Emblem Rings in that situation. So I think it's going to be pretty cool. Now I want to break down a number of different things that I found about the trailer to be pretty dope, and I want to go in depth about it, certain things. And I think that the Alir character designs, this has been a hotly debated topic online and with Fire Emblem fans, and even with not Fire Emblem fans, saying that the character looks stupid, they don't like the two-tone color, toothpaste, whatever the case is. I think that with the new trailer here, and we get a little bit of an updated look at the game, plus we also have some new definitive artwork for it, I think that these designs are incredible. I think that these designs have tons of swag and personality, and it's something different from the typical Fire Emblem character. We're used to the blue-haired, red-hair, green-hair, violet, normal character design. This one with the outfit and how they look and everything definitely seems a bit more cool. It's a bit different, and I feel that it fits for what they're trying to do with the character that collects different emblem rings and fights in this type of way. So I've always felt that the design was okay or good, and now that pretty much just confirms it to me here with this updated look at it. So I understand that this design won't be for everyone, but I feel that as you start playing the game, you'll probably get more comfortable with the design of the character. I know some people were saying that the designs of Violet for the last game was kind of plain. Fire Emblem is not a game that I would say that I'm like, okay, oh my gosh, these are my best designed or favorite designed characters of all time, but I understand where there are people that feel really affiliated with certain characters and how they look, because it's not like they do a bad job when it comes to Fire Emblem games. So I think that Alir is looking better here. I like the female version of Alir more than the male version of Alir, but they're both really good too. Like, I really don't think there's much of a difference when it comes down to it. I just kind of like the outfit a little bit more with the female version of Alir. Very similar to how I like the outfit more with female Violet over male Violet. So pretty cool there. Now, next up, I want to talk about the new characters and combat. So once again, we have confirmations of Roy, Lynn, Ike, Lucina, and we also got a bunch of new characters dropped when it comes to who's going to be inside this game and potentially some of their powers. The characters look very different when it comes down to it, and it seems like they all have their own individual hooks and kind of what they do and why they're going to do what they do. They seem like they have their own motivations and personality, and I like that. Fire Emblem's always been pretty good with that, because in Fire Emblem games, you always use a number of characters. I mean, yes, you have your main character or protagonist that you're using, but there's always a bunch of different characters that all play different roles in the game that you can use or that you fight against, and this one seems no different. The plot and the cast and everything seems like it's going to be very fun to go through and collect everyone and see exactly what their motivation is for existing, how they feel. Obviously, there's relationships, all sorts of stuff. Now, we still need to get confirmations on other things with the game, but it does seem like there's going to be some features back from previous Fire Emblem games that we could expect, maybe from Awakening or from Fates, and some of the stuff that we saw when it comes to the town building parts of Fire Emblem Engage that we saw there. So almost like the monastery, or even what Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes did, where you can upgrade things around. So I think that that is going to be a pretty cool aspect with this game when it comes down to the characters and some of the combat stuff that you can do in there as well. Now, once again, I want to go over some of the Emblem Ring stuff, because 12 Emblem Rings is a little bit lower than what I thought they would be. Now, they say collect all 12 Emblem Rings. There might be some secret ones, or there might be some other ones, but it seems like that's what we're going to get with this game. So what that tells me is that there's going to be a good amount of regular characters, but also with the Emblem Rings, they're going to be pretty in-depth. I think that each Emblem Ring is going to have multiple layers to it, to where that's going to be more than enough strategy, more than enough things that you can do within it, because 12 is a number to where it's like, okay, hold up, that's not too many when it comes down to it, especially compared to like a Fire Emblem Heroes or something like that. So it tells me that there's going to be quite a number of things and depth within each Emblem Ring. And even when you watch the first trailer of the game and some of the stuff that you can do, or even some of the follow-up clips that they showed on Twitter, you can see that the Emblem Rings are going to play a huge part and can be upgradable and have different things tied to them. So it makes sense, at least from what I'm seeing right now, that if there's only 12, that it's going to be pretty in-depth and good for players out there. So we'll see how it all works out. Like if it's not enough or there's not enough depth, then maybe obviously we'll adjust that. But for right now, it seems like, okay, there's probably going to be quite a number of things to do with these Emblem Rings. And obviously these Emblem Rings are going to be collected in a certain time, right? Because like the one thing that I don't want to happen is for there to be 12 Emblem Rings and like you get some of the coolest ones towards the end of the game. So I'm guessing you'll pretty much get all of them or collect most of them, regain your memories, and then go do what you need to do to finish out the second half or last quarter so of the game. So I think that it can be pretty cool there. Now let's talk a little bit more about the story layout in depth. I think that the characters that we saw here so far and what they're trying to set up for the story is pretty cool. Like I said, it's kind of cliche a little bit for a Fire Emblem game, but I think that it's going to be a very good story. The voice acting seems very solid. The layout and some of the cinematics seems like it's going to be very epic and really put together well. And like I stated before, this really reminds me of Fire Emblem Awakening, which to me, that saved the franchise. Heck, I think everybody thinks that that saved the franchise. The story layout and kind of what they're trying to do here, you awakening from some type of long slumber and having to do something to fit a destiny. I mean, that's usually what Fire Emblem games are, but this one is very much like the setup with Fire Emblem Awakening. So I do like that. I feel that there's going to be quite a number of depth in this one in terms of how they're saying, hey, look, these Emblem Rings, how they actually interact with things, what you did before with the help of those heroes 1,000 years ago, and then when you awakened, the divine guardians. I mean, there's so many different aspects and different things that was layered on here. I think it's very exciting to see what they're going to do going forward with this future and everything. So overall, Fire Emblem Engage is definitely a game that gets me really excited about the future of Fire Emblem and what they're doing, but also going back to the basics. I think that after 3 houses and the multiple delays and issues, I think that, yeah, this is definitely the right way to go. But I also want to end on this because I think that it's pretty cool to see what they've done here. They've drastically improved the graphical look and style of the game. Now, what we see with the character designs and everything, they didn't show a lot of in-model or in-game graphics, but from what we saw before and kind of what they're doing here with the art style, it seems like it's a bit simplistic with the designs and the environments, but it's also going to give us a cleaner look and a better overall visual representation of what they want to do in this game. It's bright, it's colorful, it's expansive. It seems like they really tried to make this game appeal to a wider base when it comes down to the look of it, of previous games like Fire Emblem Awakening, Fire Emblem Heroes, but also not fall into the same trap that Fire Emblem 3 Houses fell into, which basically got slammed for its environmental graphics. That was the biggest issue there. There was a lot of depth with it. There were some pretty cool places that you can look and see too, but overall, like, the game just didn't look as good. But it seems like this game is going to look a lot better than what we've seen before from Fire Emblem in the past, because Fire Emblem games have never really had incredible graphics. Heck, Fire Emblem 3 Houses is probably the best one, so this is definitely a huge jump up. What we know, or at least what's been rumored so far, is that Gust, the Atelier developer, has helped out with the design and the graphics in the game, and I think that you can definitely see that with some of the models and kind of how the characters look. It has that Atelier type of vibe to it, Atelier Ryza, you know, Atelier Sophie, these type of games. It has that look to it, which is definitely not a bad thing. The Atelier games look really good, so it seems like they're kind of lending their expertise in that over to Fire Emblem, and they're blending the best of all the different worlds. Koei Tecmo, Gust, which is within Koei Tecmo Intelligent Systems, what Nintendo does. So I think overall this is going to be a successful game that's going to be a lot of fun to play, and I cannot wait to find out more about it, as its launch date of January 20th is fastly approaching. So what do you guys think about Fire Emblem Engage and what they've shown off here with this new story trailer? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and we will see you for the next video. Peace.